Right, let's get on with it, shall we? Oh, I can't breathe. I'm so unfit. I've just literally just gone up the stairs and I can't breathe. So, my first questions are from a lovely friend called Jennifer, who I've met through YouTube, and she wrote, wait, why is my battery gonna die? Oh no, it's because I screenshotted it, my battery's dying. She asked me a couple of questions. In my previous video of my makeup revolution and friends second video, I asked for questions. I asked on Facebook and Instagram. So her first question is, what's your favourite brand? I'm not saying this biasly because I work for them, but I would say Urban Decay. Like, don't get me wrong, I do believe Urban Decay has lost its touch a little bit, but like, I love the foundation, I love the glitter liners, I love their moon dust, I do love most of the eyeshadows. I do use a lot of Urban Decay. What else would I choose? I wouldn't say now Urban is my favourite brand for eyeshadows anymore, which it used to be. Like, I religiously bought everything that was on there, but I would say like other brands like Morphe and Anastasia and Jeffree Star sort of won over my hearts with more eyeshadows. But like, I will never not live without Stay Naked. Like, I've bought 4 bottles before I leave the company because I want my discount. So I would say yeah, I would say Urban's probably my favourite brand. Because like, I'm trying to look for my collection, and literally most of my collection is Urban Decay. Yeah, Urban. Second question, did you go to school to learn makeup? Not school, but I went to college, yes. I have a diploma in makeup, theatrical hair and media makeup. I done special effects, body painting, theatre, fashion, TV, prosthetics, wig making, bald cap making. I'd done a lot of it for 2 years, so yes, I did go to college, but I'll be honest, I feel like I've learned more doing just work than actually learning in college. I wish I could go back into college and learn, but like, what? Like, I wish I focused a little bit better, but then I sort of didn't have the creativity when I was there, and I just slacked and I couldn't think of anything like I do now. So I've definitely learned more being on a counter or doing freelancing than actually learning in college. But of course I want to learn how to do wig making and bald cap making and whatever. Like, that was a great experience, and when I done experience with college, it was great as well. How long have you been into makeup? I started wearing makeup probably early teens, but it was nothing major. It used to be, yeah, early teens. When I went into school, I used to wear big thick black eyeliner, and literally that was it. And I'd put Maybelline Dream Matte Mousse on with, I literally used to grab the pan of blusher and like rub it up and down my cheeks. If I can put a photo up, I will, of how horrendous I used to look in school. And that was literally it, because I was an emo, so I was sort of into like the black eyeliner then. But it developed a little bit more, I'd probably say 2011, when I came out of school. I went into my first year of college doing childcare. That didn't last very long. Yeah, but I didn't still wear much more then. I wore, like, I didn't wear any highlighter, I still wore foundation, and I wore a really big fucking black wing, and I just looked horrendous. Have you ever worked in the makeup industry, and if not, would you ever want to? Yes and no. I have worked in the industry. Obviously I've worked for Urban Decay, I've worked for Estee Lauder, I've done fashion shows. One fashion show I done was with the guy who makes Jason Derulo's leather jackets, which I thought was pretty cool. I worked in theatre, hated it with a fucking passion. I would never do theatre. If you offered me £1 million to do theatre, I'd never do it. Hated it, hated it, hated it. I know some people I went to college with in makeup are probably going to watch this video. Yeah, I hated it with a passion. I wanted to do like more. I did want to be like a celebrity makeup artist, so I wanted to do like fashion shows. I really enjoy doing high fashion looks and stuff like that. But definitely throughout the years, education is a huge part. I think that's why I thrive being on a counter, because I feel like I get my passion across when I'm on a counter and talking to people about it. If someone offered me a makeup artistry job to teach, I would like drop it in a heartbeat and I would go for it. Like, I do anything to teach people, but not in the sense of on a counter or anything like that for sales. Like I generally want to go places and teach people how to do makeup. But yeah, I have been in the industry not a lot because I've come in and out of makeup just with life choices and having sort of no choice to go into a different job role and stuff like that, but I've definitely enjoyed it in the time being that I've been in it so far. I would like to change it up, but life is life and I'm having to come back out of it, unfortunately. So I had one off my friend then, Leah. She said, what's your favourite look to date? My favourite look to date, I would actually say is... Hang on, I gotta try and find it. If I can put a photo up here, I'll try and put a photo up. But if I can be bothered, that is. I'd actually say my flame one is probably my favourite one. That one. I generally love how that photo came out, and it was what I wanted, and I feel like I captured it really well. So I'm quite proud of that photo. And I'm also very proud of this one, which is like the Lady Gaga Rain On Me video, because Sarah Tano, who is actually Lady Gaga's makeup artist, liked the photo, so I literally shed a tear. But I'd say the flame one's my favourite, just because how high fashion it is. My friend Wendy said, if you could only afford one high-end item in your makeup bag, what would it be? 100%, I said this in my last video, the Urban Decay Brow Blade. I love it for my brows. I feel like it's like the most amazing thin felt tip that you could put on your brows, and you can draw literal hairs on it. I feel like it's an absolute godsend. I found loads of cheap mascaras, loads of cheap eyeliners that work absolutely fine, loads of cheap foundations. Yeah, I feel like my brows are normally the most expensive things I have. And palettes. I don't know if I go between an eyeshadow palette or the brow blade, but brow blade comes to my mind first of all, so I couldn't live without brow blade. So my friend Sorrel, who I actually went to college with to do theatrical and hair media makeup, she said, how old were you when you started playing with makeup? Brownie points for any pictures. I'll try and find some pictures so you get the transition sort of thing. But it was mainly, like I said, when I was in school doing eyeliner, it wasn't me playing around with makeup. It was when I got into more college wise, or my first year of college in childcare. That's when I started like venturing out and like putting a red lip on, trying something different with my brows, started plucking my eyebrows and stuff like that. What sparked your interest in makeup? Not a lot. I never really had any like inspiration from anyone. I just wanted it to express myself and be different to everyone else, if that makes any sense. I put black eyeliner on in school because I was an emo, and that's what I wanted to do. I wanted to have a black thick eyeliner. I remember it used to be like the Maybelline crayon one, really thick, like you couldn't draw a perfect line with it. It was absolutely horrendous anyway. But mainly to follow a career in makeup when we went to college with each other was when I was actually in childcare. Obviously I used to do this big wing liner, and I used to put eyelashes on, and I'd get so many people ask me to put eyeliner on them, and Leah might even remember this because I was in childcare with her, and like I'd be sat there lessons, people like, oh, can you do an eyeliner on me? And I've never done makeup on anyone at this point. I was what, 16? Was I 16 when I was in college? Yeah. And like I was like, oh shit, I can do a wing eyeliner. So that's where it sort of sparked it, because I didn't want to carry on with childcare. I hated it. I hate children basically. I didn't like it at all, so that I remember being sat in the classroom like finding a makeup artistry course, and that's when I found the theatrical hair and media makeup one, and that's when I went into it. Did you always want a career involving makeup? No, actually, I never ever saw makeup in my life at all when I was in school. People are probably gonna laugh. Historian I wanted to be, or something to do with history. I enjoyed history so much in school. I find it fascinating. I was literally talking about this in work earlier today. I find it fascinating. I love history. I love sitting down and learning about everything like that. So I actually thought history, I never saw anything massive, like I didn't strive to be it anyway. I really was a bit lost. That's why I done childcare in college, because I just took it as an option because I didn't know what I wanted to really do. What's your favourite meal of the day? Every hour, because I eat like a fucking pig. Dinner. I mean, That's your big meal. It could be a takeaway or whatever. We can't have a well, I do have a takeaway for breakfast if I got leftovers. Yeah, definitely dinner. And my favourite meal would be... I don't really have like a really favourite meal. Steak. Anything involving steak I'm here for. Do you have any pets? Do you want any? I used to have guinea pigs. I became allergic to them years after, and especially when I got pregnant I couldn't have them anymore. They were my babies. I loved them and I still miss them with all my heart. They're probably dead now. Oh well. Do I want any? Yes, I would love a doggo. We would never get a doggo because the house we're in at the moment we rent. We're saving, so I would love a Bernese Mountain Dog, which are massive, and I love them with all my heart, and I really want one. My friend Leela said how to apply or whoa, hold on, sorry. How to apply? No. How to highlight or apply blusher properly? What part of the cheekbone, etc., and how far down? Wow, I can't speak. How far down, I don't know, so I avoid using. So the thing is with blusher and highlight, it all depends on your face shape. So with blusher, if you know you have dominantly rounded cheeks, like apple cheeks, I would put the blusher there. But any other person, I would literally put the blusher, say from about like the pupil of your eye upwards into like this area here, because it sort of gives your face a lift. Never smile when you're putting blusher on, because if you're like this, you're putting the blusher here. When you stop smiling, your blusher goes down. So when I put my blusher on, I literally get my brush like this. I don't even move my face, and I just lift it upwards. So it sounds really bad, but like your bronzer, contour, blusher and highlighter, I hate to say it, it's like a Neapolitan, is it Neapolitan ice cream? That's how I basically describe it. Like you put it one on top of each other. Your contour or your bronzer, normally contour goes in the hollows of your cheeks or the hollows of the face, because that's where you want it to show the definition and the contour of the skin. So that normally is for your cheek area. I don't know what this part of the ear is called. And you go downwards into your lip, but you never put it all the way down because your cheekbones don't go all the way down to the side of your lips. You normally just put your contour to the end of your eye here. I probably really described that really shit, but I did. So you put your contour, you put your bronzer on top, and you blend it upwards. I sort of put my blusher on top of my bronzer, and then I put my highlighter on top. So the highlighter is the highest part of the face. So the highest part of your cheekbone is where you put your highlighter. You can put highlight in between here like I do, on your nose and on the lip, but I'll explain why with face shapes, why you wouldn't also put them in certain places. So for that question, right, there was two. So before this I looked at Philippa's eyebrows. I went on Facebook and had a look, sorry. But there's loads of ways to do it. Yes, if you have a pencil, it's clearly going to show, but it also depends on how hard you use it. You can actually use it so lightly with your hand and you won't even notice you've used a pencil on it. So I would say pencils are still handy. I would actually say all brow products are handy, it's just the way you use them. So there's a lot of brow products that you can get are really waxy, so even if you just draw them on lightly, they can just bring off too much product, but then you can get ones that are a little bit more harder, which are actually better to make them look more natural, because then it's not so much product going on your brows. Brow gel mascaras are really, really good, because then they're literally just coating your brows, they're just enhancing them, but you're not actually adding any more onto your brows. But if you do want them to look fuller, another good thing is, this is why I love my Urban Decay brow blade, is because it's literally that thin that you can individually draw on brow hairs. Yes, it takes a little bit of time. I couldn't perfect it at first, but I actually recommend that for people because you can literally draw on eyebrow hairs. Powders, you can have eyebrow powders. A lot of brands like Urban Decay, and this isn't me repping Urban Decay, but I just generally I do like these products. They do Double Down Brow, which is a which is a powder to a mousse form, so it's a little bit more pigmented than a standard eyebrow powder, but you could use an eyebrow powder just to literally coat where your eyebrow is, so it just still does look a bit fuller and a little bit more coated. A lot of places actually do like cream powders where they're on like a little doe foot applicator and you can literally draw them on then. I feel like that'd look a little bit too fuller, especially looking at Philippa's eyebrows, they're quite a bit sparse, so I would actually say to go in with a pencil and a brow blade. Like find something that has a really, really fine point where you can individually draw eyebrow hairs. I wouldn't say a gel because that's just too hardcore, although certain gels with certain brushes you can literally still individually draw a brow hair on. And to help with creasing, it's a little bit of a hard one, this one, because as much as I can preach a product doesn't mean it's going to work for everyone. So like I said, when I'm on counter, I'm always like, I love this product, but it doesn't mean that it suit you. It's really hard because everyone has different face types and blah blah blah, different oiliness. Definitely check if you have oiliness on your lids, because like I have oiliness, so I use a primer that is mattifying, so that's really helpful. There's loads of brands though that claim they're creaseless, but like the P. Louise base, which is everyone like raves about, but it literally creases on me within a second. It's all trial and error, to be honest with you. I hate to say it, but like sometimes you just need to buy the product to try it and know if you like it or not. I wouldn't recommend concealer, absolutely not. Concealers are hydrating. They haven't got the gel base like primers do, which help stop oil coming through and stop the creasing. So I definitely would recommend a more hydrating primer. Even though I said yes, it's hydrating, an eye primer is completely different to concealer. A primer is made there to stick your eyeshadow on and not crease at all. It is a little bit more of hit and miss. Like there's a couple of products I would recommend to you personally, which I could message you about, but it still doesn't mean that it'd work for you. A lot of stuff is trial and error, to be honest with you. And for the hooded lids, even though yes, if you tilt your head back it's easier to get to, but when you come face forward, your eye shape is going to be completely different. So when you are doing your makeup, just look in the mirror, see where your crease is, see the height, see the width of how much space you have, and keep to that space. Yes, still go back, because it's a little bit easier to get into your eye socket when you tilt your head back. Like I look up a little bit more when I do my makeup. It is just a little bit easier, but just expect that if you completely do your head back like this, when you look forward, your eye shape will look different. So same with eyeliner. I never do my eyeliner with my eyes closed. I always keep my eyes open because I have hooded lids myself, and when you open them and close them, they will look completely different. So you're better off keeping your eyes open. It sounds really hard, but I literally do my eyeshadow most of the time with my eyes wide open because I can see where I'm going. But if you do have quite severe hooded lids, just tilt your head back a little bit to get in the crease area. It's 12 o'clock at night. I'm sat here with a full face of makeup on. What am I doing? Last question anyway. How to have eyebrows and makeup for the older person. If I copied some of your beautiful makeup, I'd look like a drag act. No, you wouldn't. That's my mother-in-law, by the way. No, you wouldn't. But yes, I would say more mature ladies. Like I wouldn't bang this look out on them, just because it's a lot. It doesn't need to be, like I don't need all this on, but I do. But there's nothing wrong. There was a woman who came into work who was a nurse. She was a more mature lady. She had every colour on her eyes, every colour, and I fucking loved it. She was like, I love rainbows. And I was like, I love you for it. It's just balancing. Like a lot of makeup is trial and error. Like you have to physically put it on yourself and figure out what you like. Like I said, I didn't like this, but I gradually learnt of what I didn't like on my eyes, what tones I didn't like on my eyes, what shape I liked on my eyes. It is all trial and error. So eyebrows relate back to what I said about Philippa's question. Pencils, but I know Jackie has quite sparse eyebrows. I would say I would recommend a pencil personally, or a brow powder which has a little bit more to it, or a brow blade. I wouldn't go more so a gel or anything because that'd look a bit too harsh, but we could definitely try something one day with a pencil. I think a pencil would be a bit better for you. Makeup wise, obviously determine what your skin type is. Obviously if you're dry, you go for more hydrating. If you're oily, you go for a little bit more of a matte foundation, but I wouldn't go for an all matte foundation because they can age you a little bit more. They will sit in creases, they will crease, they will dry, so they can age you a little bit. This isn't plugging Urban Decay again, but Urban Decay have this Stay Naked foundation, which is fantastic for any age from really young to mature ladies because it sits beautifully on the skin. It looks really nice and natural, has a natural skin finish which is demi matte, so you want to look for something like that. You want something that's a little bit more hydrating, like a medium coverage. Don't go full coverage because you'll never get a dewy foundation. It'll always be like mattifying, which you really don't want. Quite nice glowy skin, you'd put a nice natural highlight, not so much like this. You'd put a nice natural shine to the skin, so it's like a glow within. You could still go smoky, stuff like that. It's just tweaking it. So obviously, of course, like being on counter, a lot of people go, oh, I want a smoky eye, and I'm like, well, what's that to you? Because smoky eye can be all over the lid, like just in the outer corner, that is a smoky eye. And I think a lot of people assume that it's black, and I'm like, no, as long as you have depth within it, it's a smoky eye. It can be a blue smoky eye, it can be a brown smoky eye, it can be a red smoky eye. As long as you've got your depth, it's a smoky eye. So it's more of, like I said, just figuring out what you would like, how you don't like it. Personally, for a mature lady, I wouldn't like cover all of their eyes with a dark eyeshadow. I would keep it more so in the outer part, because that gives the eye a lift. If a lady or a gentleman asks for colour but they don't like a lot of colour, eyeliner is a great part. A lot of people who I recommend colour to, but they don't want to have colour, if that makes any sense. I normally recommend like blues or dark blues, depending on the eye colour or the hair colour. But eyeliner, like pencil, I won't so much say like a liquid, because a liquid can look quite abrupt and quite sharp. I would actually say eyeliner pencils are a great way to add colour into your eye makeup without making it like this, or having like my last one where I was bright blue with bejewels on it. But you could literally just add like a beautiful underneath here in your waterline to make your eye look a little bit more sultry. On top, like darker colours but in green, like in colour forms, are absolutely great for adding a little bit of pop of colour. I hope some of that made sense to you all. I am a bit useless at the moment, I'm very tired as it is 12:05 at night. But I hope you enjoyed that video. Please like and subscribe if you want to know anything a little bit more about me. If I maybe do another video, I'll ask some more questions. If you want more focused based tutorials, or like when I was saying about the face shapes, please let me know. I will get on it. I'll add it to my list of everything else. So yeah, please like and subscribe, help me out a lot, and I hope to see you in the next video.